how did you get introduced to the game, or when did you play it the first time?
Gosh, I think it was almost 4 years ago now. I played the game. My time perception could be really way off, actually. But yeah, a moderator of mine bought the game for me and gifted Steam, and he was like, "Ariel, you need to try this. It's a really great game. It's a classic. Get involved with it because he knew that I already had a love of vampire lore and everything right up your alley." As soon as I play it, I realized not only how buggy it was from 2003, but just how good the story actually was. Like, this is what a vampire game, this RPG that lets you have freedom and control over the narrative, but has a really great main storyline.
It's a very 2004 video game, as I keep pointing out. Like, everything is about sex. Like everything. Like the women do not wear clothing. Like,
No.
it's very promiscuous. All the men are just pigs. And it's just accepted to be that way. Everybody is trench coats and leather jackets, and every type of vampire is in there. It was a very 2004's Queen of the Damned was amazing, though. I don't care what anyone says. Love the Queen of the Damned movie. I did kind of. I only barely experienced it back then, like I said, but it kind of just went over my head mostly, despite my love of the style. And looking back at it now, it did a lot of things that I don't think it gets enough credit for.
Yeah, it really revolutionized the way that we play games because, and I mentioned this in a video that I did recently of where it probably revolutionized the way RPGs are done. And there were some people who were, disagreeing with comments of that video that I did, but I will die on this hill saying that Vampire the Masquerade recreated the genre of horror and RPG entirely because if we didn't have the game Vampire the Masquerade, we would not have Baldur's Gate 3 right now.
That's definitely a strong opinion. I don't disagree entirely though. It's You have to pin down exactly what it is though that like it did. Like in 2004, there were not many immersive computer RPGs in like the style of this kind of thing where you actually walked around the setting, where you
Right.
actually like existed in like first person or third person and could actually explore and talk to people in a large expansive setting where how you talk to them would influence the story and have like full-blown cutscenes and stuff. And like even Divinity and Divinity 2, they were overhead and they had lots of dialogue, but they didn't really have cutscenes or animations or any of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of the choice of the characters.
They will
Especially if
like,
you pick the Nosferatu,
yeah,
if you pick the Nosferatu, it's kind of like, how in Elden Ring you have like your base player who's just like naked from the start, no choice, no nothing. That's basically Nosferatu. Like if you pick that, it's just like you're shunned from society in a way, which is unfortunate because the Nosferatu are the best characters of the game.
this game was not like, it was buggy. Like it had issues. Even just getting this to run on my modern computer. We're getting to the Asylum now, which is like one of the main popular hubs, and the famous lady from the cover is in here. And
wasn't this? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go on. Just prepare.
Wasn't this one of the early games on the Half-Life 2 engine?
Was it?
I want to say it was going to come out before Half-Life 2, and they had to delay it so that Half-Life 2 could come out because Valve didn't want it to be the second one.
I actually don't know if it's on that, but you could be right. It definitely has that look. It did use the Half-Life engine, yeah.
Wow.
According to Wikipedia, the game's development was turbulent, which is, it was Troika. 32 member team. Can you imagine a 32 member team? Yeah, a 32 member team in 2023. You'd be lucky to get a level out of the team that small. That's using the source game engine, then in development, which was used for Valve's Half-Life 2. The development was turbulent as the design scope far exceeded the available resources. And the team
Kind
was
of the
left.
same with what's going on with Bloodlines 2 right now.
Yeah, history repeats itself. I think that's just it's just a Bloodlines thing. It's troublesome. It's difficult, but I can see the scope of it. But I want you to tell us like your memory of just playing through the game and like parts of it that really stood out narratively or mechanically as major highlights.
So a lot of the lore of vampirism is actually utilized really well in the game. Like for example, the Nosferatu, they are utilized to how they are in history and how they are in a lot of lore, which I was very surprised by. They didn't utilize it in a corny, cheesy way. They actually utilized the character in a very organic way that made the story of the game flow really nicely. Another thing I really liked is that each area in the game is very different, and that's very surprising to find in an early. Normally, you just get one area, very similar, kind of hokey, and you go through it, and that's it. You have a nightclub, you have an area that's filled to the brim with blood. You have, an asylum, you have a hospital. You have so many different areas to explore.
I realized when I went into this location, it was very difficult to talk to people and not flirt with them. Like no matter,
those are the only options.
It literally, it was either I'm going away now or some type of flirtation. And that was definitely the experience. I was like, this is making me slightly uncomfortable, but I still went through with it, and like again, it's very nice. Like I used that guy right there. That's exactly how I used to dress. Back in the early 2000s. I don't know why it never caught my eye. I was probably too busy playing cutesy Japanese RPGs on my PlayStation 2, like Dark Cloud and stuff like that. But like, was there any like how far did you get in the story to experience like? Go ahead.
I think I got right around probably like an hour before the ending of the game. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't finished.
Let's put up a spoiler alert for a 20-year-old game. There we go.
Yeah, I always like doing a spoiler alert, because just in case. But whenever it came to like the part of where you are infiltrating the area of the main, I believe it was the Camarilla or something, and the head honcho guy who like dictates Masquerade, and you're infiltrating him, you have the choice to become one of his minions to an extent or go against the grain. And it crashed so many times, and I got full essence of the story. I understood where everything was going. In my review, I know I said I would probably will update or something. I wrote that review such a long time ago, so I forget entirely what I wrote in it. But yeah, I'm really intent on wanting to finish the game because I know there's a mod out that can actually fix a lot of the bugs that are in the game.
Did you play it without modding it?
I played without modding it because I wanted to get a true experience.
I didn't even know the game could run without modding it. Like I had to install a mod just to get.
Yeah, it's a lot more cloudy and difficult to see the actual icons and everything that are in it. But yes, you can play without a mod.
That's kind of wild. Don't play it at 4K though, because the interface is like this size.
Yep.
It's kind of rough. You can find the video over on our YouTube channel, and it gave me a fairly unique and revisionist perspective on the game, and just an admiration for what it did. Because I can't actually think of many games around this time that were there. There was like first-person immersive games, like Half-Life was starting to begin that kind of trend for that kind of thing, but not in the RPG space, not in the where you're like changing your stats and like really could actually influence everything that was around you.
Right, exactly. This one really, I think, shaped the way for how a lot of horror games are done, especially nowadays, like Torment Souls. It really gives a call back to early old school Silent Hill, even Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines with the character constructs.
Probably the Knights of the Old Republic, I guess, but that was a very BioWare game. Not that that's a criticism, but it's the only other one I can probably think of. But this, and I did manage to load up the intro as well, which is like 8 minutes of the footage. These scenes are, like this would have been state of the art graphics in 2004. Like, not even joking. It's moving fingers, like. Moving mouths, eyes, animations, like it was.
Now, like that girl who's walking or the guy who's walking just looks like a rag doll. It's just like
right. They didn't have motion capture then, yeah.
But they did. But it was
what
not.
They were able to do without motion capture. I'm still amazed by.
Right. Yeah.
God, even nowadays, it's phenomenal. We've come a long way. I hope we finally get Bloodborne 2. Sorry, Bloodborne 2? Oh God, yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I'm way to make me to
Sony.
No, I'm just joking.
Sony has to know that people want Bloodborne 2.
They are just gatekeeping it right now and breaking our hearts every single day.
If they would just put it day and date on PlayStation Plus, they'd get that price increase right there.
I would gladly pay for my PlayStation Plus to check it out the day it comes out.
I will go to headquarters and speak Simlish directly to you.
There you go.
Marfalavu, Bopaloopa Deebadop.
Now that's so convincing. I'm not even joking. If not to wish death on anybody, but if anything ever happens to the sim person who does the voices, they gotta give it to you.
Fopalooby.
Yeah. Maybe they'll retire and become an ambassador for the game, kind of like the Mario guy. And then...
Oh my god.
Oh god, just speak. That would be amazing. All their like announcements and stuff would be in Simlish.
Yeah. That would be so interesting to hear. And then people will just be waking up and hearing that and they'll be like, am I still asleep?
Bloodlines 2 is what I would love to see because it's been in production for a while now. And
it's supposed to be coming out in the fall of next year.
We can only hope.
And who's working on that? Like, what is it? The same team or like whatever happened?
No, the other team got let go, and it's a dev team that's working.
Okay.
Have they said who's working on it?
I believe they have. Yes, I forget the name, but they I actually started following them on Twitter just yesterday.
This is why I should put more notes in my. It was initially developed by Hard Suit Labs, but had by 2021 been moved to the Chinese room. This scheduled. Oh, they've made Dear Esther. They did a lot of like walking simulators. I hate that phrase.
Okay.
But because I think it underplays just how good a lot of those games are. Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. That's a really good one. Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. Some pretty good stuff.
So this game came out in 2004, right?
Yep.
We talk about, this year has been such an amazing year for games. In my mind, 2004 was another one of those years. Like we already talked about Halo 2, Half-Life 2, Metroid Prime 2, I think came out that year. World of Warcraft. It was
just a minor, didn't revolutionize the industry or anything. Doom 3, which is severely underrated.
The Doom series is so good. I love it.
The best Sims game came out in 2004, Sims 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Another really underappreciated game, The Chronicles of Riddick.
That was a good one. That was a good one. It
was a first-person game, but it actually, Vin Diesel was involved in the development directly. And it was
better than the movie.
Another underrated game is The Matrix Reloaded. That was amazing.
Yeah, I actually did appreciate that. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Never played a GTA game fully before.
Yeah.
It's only the biggest open world game that was ever made. Metal Gear Solid 3, best game in the entire franchise. There was a lot. Holy shit. Hey there, folks. I know nobody wants to listen to a creator shill themselves for 90 seconds, so I'm not going to. If you enjoyed this, we do the show live every Sunday on Twitch at 6 p.m. BST. Feel free to pop over TNEQL. And if you would like to support us in making the channel bigger and helping it grow, you can also check us out on Patreon, also as TNEQL. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautiful.